Hello, sweet and dear friends. So happy to have you here today together with me. I really hope that you will smile while listening and find something warm for your heart in this episode where I tell you stories about the kindness of the people and share some recent experiences of mine while traveling around Gotland. And for those who doesn't know what Gotland is, it's okay. I didn't know it either, like 5 months ago. But it's actually Sweden's largest island in Baltic Sea, nearby Lithuania actually, where I'm from. And I would like to start by telling you a heartwarming story from the wedding day in the restaurant. Since many of you already know, I've been working as a waitress for more than 8 years now. And yeah, throughout these years of work experience, I really learned to think and take care of others' needs even before they think about it. And yes, I can't forget the coffee for the kitchen staff, even though I asked myself them to see whether they want it or not. And yes, I definitely forget every single ashtray if someone asks me. But you know what I never forget? You may guess a lot of different things, but the real answer is, drumroll please, it's water for a dog. Because in my world, it's a number one priority just to give water for the dog in the restaurants. Because people can ask for things that they want or need, but pets unfortunately can't. And of course, putting aside the need part, it's just an opportunity for me by bringing them water to pet a dog and be almost BFFs for time that they stay in the restaurant. And that's always cool, right? But anyways, just recently I worked in a beautiful wedding and there were 70 people and one dog. And it was an old black fur Labrador girl with gray little hairs on her cute wet nose. And she seemed a bit spooked out actually. So I saw her a little bit spooked out and I didn't see water around her. So guess what I did? Of course, I've decided to bring her water. The girl seemed quite scared of me, to be honest, but very interested of what I have to give to her. And after she found out that that's water, I left her do her own thing. And there was that. I continue working, but then after some time, I looked at her and she was so much happier, to be honest. Like almost smiling and almost like socializing with others, not that spooked out anymore. I was just like talking with my husband, oh my god, look at this dog. Like before she was so scared of everything and now she's happy and almost smiling with her tongue out. And we just smiled for a bit and it was just a cute memory. But little did I know what happened next. Classy gentleman approached my colleague and he asked who gave water for my dog. His name was Klaus. He was a middle-aged gentleman and he was dressed up with a like really fancy suit and he was actually matching his dog nose fur around the nose because he was gray hair. That was very cute, I thought. And he came to me because my colleague pointed at me like she brought the dog water. And he approached me and I was like, for a second I was quite scared, like oh my god, did I poison his dog or something? Like, you know, all the intrusive thoughts kicks in. But he actually smiled so beautifully. And not only with his smile, to be honest, but also with his blue eyes. It was so blue, aquamarine almost color. And then he said, thank you. Thank you so much for water for my dog. She was super thirsty because I forgot the water for her actually. And then like I was a bit shocked of him being so nice to me and he just continued. He was so thankful and he wanted to give me money for this, to be honest. Like he asked, oh my god, do you have Swish? Swish is a Swedish simple transaction app, more or less, where you can just transfer money very easily. And I said, no, I don't have Swish, but it's okay. I'm not from here, like I'm foreigner. So don't worry, really, I don't need your money. All good. It was just water, you know. But he insisted, no, but let's find your colleague who has a Swish, because I would like to tip you because you were so kind, so thoughtful. And I was like, no, thank you so much. It's just water. It's nothing that special that you need to give me money, After a while, he looked at me once again and said, it might be just water, but you were the only one from all of these people who brought water for her and took care of her. Even I, her owner, forgot about this, and you didn't. And these words, honestly, I almost teared up, even though I'm not the most teary-ish person, but it truly melted my heart, just with honesty and kindness of his words and just the energy. It was so nice. I felt so good. And since this conversation, every time during this evening I looked at the dog, of which unfortunately I don't know the name, but I almost teared up every time because that was such a kind moment and conversation with a completely stranger, but it just really filled my heart with just kindness of people, and just remembering that there are so many good people around us. And I'm thankful for people who aren't afraid to come and say honest and nice things to others, even though they are completely strangers and you would probably will never see them again. And even though I didn't take his money, I felt like $1,000,000. And another funny coincidence with him was that his wife, Ulrike, had lived in Lithuania for some time. And my husband came to me and he said, oh my God, there is a lady who lived in Lithuania, in Vilnius, where we live, where we are from. And she said that, oh, Lithuania is so beautiful, blah, blah, blah. And I said, oh my God, you need to meet my wife. And they approached, and it was the same lady who my husband talked with and who lived in Lithuania, and the same gentleman who was the dog owner, and he talked with me. So that was so nice. We just laughed, all four of us, and it was a beautiful conversation. My heart was full after this, and that leads me to another story where we travel back to a heartfabrik ceramics workshop. And this story doesn't have a specific event that happened just like the first story, but it was just so wholesome. Recently, as you probably already know if you watched the first episode, it was my 27th birthday, and my besties from Lithuania, from back home, decided to gift me a super thoughtful gift, which was ceramics workshop, and not in Lithuania, but in Sweden. Because before coming to work here in Gotland in Sweden, I actually was jobless for more than 5 months, because as I mentioned before, I was a waitress for 8+ years now, and I was so burned out from being a waitress for this long. So I just quit my job without any plan, and I was so happy of doing it. I'm so glad and thankful to myself that I actually did that. But yeah, since I didn't have a plan and didn't have a job, I needed to stop or pause my hobbies, and my biggest hobby of the whole time is ceramics. And during this whole time until now, I miss it so much. So my girls knew this information, and when they were thinking about what should they give for my 27th birthday this year, they gifted me a lovely workshop so that I could attend as soon as possible. And that actually from itself is just a truly heartwarming story. But when I came to the workshop, I saw this gorgeous place, gorgeous house filled with fresh flowers and hearts and all the cute signs and everything. And then I met the owner, Ingela. I hope I'm pronouncing it right. She is the creator of Heartfabriken in Gotland, and she was my host of this workshop, and she was the sweetest woman I could think of, with a big, warm and loving smile, and she was so welcoming. She told me the story about her business, which started 10 years ago, more or less, and how she used to be social worker, just helping families during the crisis. And then she told me that this home where we are and creating ceramics, it used to be the place where horses lived. And little house nearby was actually where a horseshoe blacksmither used to live, and that was so nice because she said that it was a creative space of creators like throughout the history. So I really like this aura in here, and it has such a beautiful story. Then we just created ceramics and we chatted for a while. And then I asked about hearts, like why did she choose this symbol, because it was in her name, like the main things, creations were heart shaped, so everything was almost heart shaped, and that was the main item. And she actually said such a beautiful thing that for her, heart symbol and heart in itself can represent so many things, and that she loves just to hear people who are buying from her art, the stories of where they will use the items that they bought. And she said that the stories, all of them, are so different and so unique and so lovely, sometimes sad because sometimes people buy hearts for the funerals, but sometimes they happy memories connected with love, birthdays, or like weddings. I really like to hear these kind of things, and that she shared so much with me. So it was just truly warming time. And if you ever be in Gotland, please visit her. She is wonderful. And another sweet story that she shared with me was that she is a member of a group or circle of women from Gotland who are creators, and they support each other, and they are members of the little shop in the main city called Visby in here in the Gotland island, and where they just sell each other's art creations, and then just support each other with their works and businesses. And it was such a beautiful idea. And she said that this community was created by one of the women known in history of Gotland, and she wanted women to go from only being at the home with their children, with their families, and like being in the fields, because a lot of people here in Gotland are actually farmers, and they used to be farmers. So she created this like a group of women, artistic women, just to support each other, that they could reach their goals, reach their dreams, like let there be creative, and just to support each other during this process. So yeah, this second story of Ingela and Heart Fabriken Ceramics Workshop is just simple one, I would say, but was truly an awesome moment in my life. And I'm so thankful not only for my girlfriends from Lithuania that they thought of me and that they created this opportunity to meet this wonderful creator Ingela, and she's such a warm person, and I'm so thankful. Oh yeah, and since it was a ceramic workshop, you may ask what I have created. So I saw the black glaze, the ones that Ingela had. The black glaze was screaming at me and like, it's a bat, it's a black bat. So I decided not to go against this scream of creativity, and just decided to create a little cute bat with dangling feet and like little stars around him. Yeah, it was wonderful to put my hands again in the clay and just to feel it and enjoy it. It went so fast, but yeah, until next time. And that leads me to the third story of today that I want to share with you, and it's about the man named Per, which we met on our workplace here in Gotland, saying goodbye for the summer and staff day. And he was the owner with his wife Kiki of Gangvide farm, and like he was with us the whole day, but she was the one who like organized everything and told us stories and like talked with us, and he was more like in the shadow. To be honest, like he seemed like he's not the most socializing person and he seemed like he didn't want to do as much with us as he should or something like that. But little did I know that looks can be very deceiving, because at the evening part of this wonderful day, me and my husband, we came to chat with his wife, Christina, or Kiki, and just asked about this place, like how did they created it, what is the story behind it. And she was so friendly just to share it with us. And then she said, oh, but you know what, my husband, he needs to show you around and go on tour with him. And then the tour started, and I was so shocked with how it turned out, because it was so nice. It was one of the greatest tours in our life, like, to be honest. First of all, we learned that this farm is actually Pierre's family farm from 1703. That's crazy. It's such a beautiful history. But then we kept on walking to different warehouses in the farm, because they have many different buildings. And he was telling that we built this and then, and we did this and blah, 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 and all the interesting things. How they just created this farm and made it more community center-ish and more modern version of the farm. And then we went to the first huge warehouse where we saw old American cars. And my husband, he is quite interested in cars just in general, so it was super interesting for him. And they kept talking, and my husband loves American cars, and Pierre does as well. Pierre is just a fanboy of America. He just created a museum of his finds from the thrift shops from America. And he took these huge objects and huge things all the way from America to this island. And he created literally a museum of different themes. And it was so interesting. Oh my God. The highlights of this trip was the cars, of course, because they were beautiful. And then his stories, and that how his eyes were sparkling. And he was so more alive than the rest of the day before when he was talking about the finds and how did he bring it here and what's the story behind. And then we just saw a beautiful boat or little yacht or something like that. I'm not the biggest knowledgeable person on boats. And it was such a beautiful glittery brown color. And I thought, but you probably never use it, right? Because it's in the huge garage. It's quite big and it's quite old and it's almost collective piece, he said. And he said, oh, no. And then he took his phone from the pocket and he started to show us the pictures and videos from the past weekend that he and his family were driving this boat in the middle of the ocean. And he said it was so nice, so interesting, and just such a great time together with this boat and my friends and family. And I was astonished of this man just knows what he likes. And that was so cute. We couldn't believe our eyes and our ears that this silent and shy man, who was so shy and silent the whole day, is now telling us this long stories and just showing such interesting and unique things. And he's a collector of clothes hangers. He has a wooden house that's a music house with all of the vinyl records of different genres, and the music is playing so loud, just lights everywhere. And there is a second floor in this house where it's a bar in 90s or 80s in the middle of USA. It was so nice. And he was just so happy that we were interested, me and my husband, and that we asked all this question, and he was more than happy to answer those. It was just such an honor that he let us into this world of his. Yeah. And then we finished the tour. We were about to leave because our bus came and everyone was saying goodbye. And we came to him. I said, oh my God, sorry, Pierre, but I'm gonna hug you because it was so nice meeting you. And thank you so much for showing us around and having us to hear all of this. And it's been a pleasure and it's been an honor and it's been so nice. And he hugged me back so nicely, like fatherly. And he said thank you so much for being here today and for being with me and just like being interesting in this. We left holding hands with my husband and we were just smiling, and that was purely cute and heartwarming and so kind of him. These three stories like really are examples of good people just doing nice things in life. And I know that it might not shock you, or like you will say these are not the greatest stories of the humankind, that's for sure. And I know that they are not, but they are so beautiful in a way that they are so simple. So I really wanted to share those with you because I think it's worth sharing like small things in life and just create lovely memories together. And if you ever come to Gotland, please visit Ingela and Pierre with his wife Kiki, because they were so nice. Thank you so much for being here with me today. Thank you so much for listening. I'm so happy you've made this far into this episode, and I would really appreciate if you rate the show on Spotify and hit subscribe on YouTube. Please make sure you follow me so you would never miss the new creation of mine. And if there is something you would like to continue talking about or share your thoughts on this or any other topic, please write to me on my Instagram, austeja.b. And I hope you found something cozy and cute for your heart this time. And thank you so much for listening and being with me here today. Have a lovely day and see you next time. Bye, friends!